other people as they come in. This meeting is now being recorded, and this is about the tornado that happened on September 21st, 2018. So I have a few stories from different people. And I'll let you unmute yourself as we get to them. And I'm going to present my screen and start the presentation. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, I'm going to put this one. Okay, everyone can see that? Yes?
Yes.
So I have to go back to that web page and present it. There we go. Okay, so this is the virtual event for remembering the tornado in Tanglewood in 2018. These were all the trees that went down in Medhurst Park. So that picture was taken right after they went down on a Saturday, I guess. And George, if you want to unmute yourself,
Okay.
I'm going to play this slideshow as you're talking.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, I'm George, board member of the Tanglewood Hillsdale Community Association. So I'd like to, I live in Tanglewood Hillsdale community on Brockington Crescent. So I just want to share with you some of my recollection and experience in the 2018 September 21st tornado about 5 p.m. in the afternoon. There are two parts I'd like to share. The first is the physical environment damages, and then talk about the community as we are living in the dark for 3 to 5 days. And then at the end, how our community have stayed together and have helped each other. First, the physical environment damages. As Nikki has shown, the most visible is in the Medhurst Park. As you know, the row of trees along Medhurst Drive. They're all uprooted, just like a domino effect, you know. So they're all uprooted and a lot of debris on Medhurst Drive. And along Medhurst and Brockington, besides the lot of trees are uprooted, broken, debris all along the street and the ground, there are also a lot of roof, windows, shingles that was broken, and window damages as well. And in the corner of Medhurst and Woodruff, the Esso station and Tim Horton, you may recall there are two hydro poles that was snapped in half, dangling there, and the hydro people, while they are working, they have to close the entrance into Medhurst. So for a short period, we have to use the Woodfield entrance to come into the community. And the Esso station and Tim Horton also have a lot of trees, debris, as well as Tim Horton has also some damages on the roof and the sides. Well, I'm sure all of us hope that Tim Horton will come back soon so that we can have our double coffee or yeah, or apple fritter. Yeah. So these are some of those that I've seen in our area, Medhurst Drive and Brockington Crescent. And so, as far as the Tanglewood Hillsdale community, we're living in the dark for 3 to 5 days because of the Maryville power, the substation that serving us is also damaged. So we have been living in the dark with flashlight, candles, and uh, everybody cook with a gas stove or even barbecue uh, because the food in the fridge cannot be kept too long, so they have to use it before they were go bad. And as there are no electricity for appliances and computer, so people have to rely on their cell phones to able to listen to news or communicate with each other. And for us, I have to pull out from the basement the old battery radio. So this portable battery radio to listen to CBC and CFRA for any news, any update. Uh, so that's the everybody's been living under that condition in the dark. So the last part is that our community in Tanglewood, we have stayed together and have helped each other. Neighbors helping neighbors with in the cleanup, and I can remember Dave and Christine. They went around picking up the trees, branches, debris, and uh, and also people helping each other with food preparation, sharing the gas generator for those who have. Like my neighbor, he has a gas generator and we use a very long extension cord to help to sustain the fridge for a few hours before everything went bad. And the 30 Woodfield Community Center was open for hot meals arranged by the counselor and NROC and for some food supplies. So they were open for that. And some of our residents who doesn't have uh, much support who live alone, they went to stay with their families in other parts of the city that have electricity. So the Tanglewood Hillsdale, our board did went around and did a survey of some residents that are affected, uh, and we have provided information sheet to those residents to help them how to contact the forestry for the tree debris removal, for the insurance contact, for the city services, or NROC for their temporary food supply or uh, support, emotional support for the trauma they went through. So there are a lot of good services that went around, and I hope that as we have stayed together, help and support each other during the tornado period, and likewise, I hope that we can do the same to stay together, stay safe, and support one another during this second wave of COVID, as we all pandemic as we are going through. So keep in touch, and if there's something that the community association can be of help to you, feel free to let us know. Yeah, thank you. And Nikki, I give you the time.
Thank you, George. Okay, so the next part is a message from Keith Iglai that was sent for this event.
Hi, Tanglewood community. I was asked to put together a video with regard to the tornado as the anniversary approaches. One memory I have that sticks in my head very firmly is I was on the radio one morning shortly after the tornado, and I was asked what could people do to help out. And I said that we were providing free meals for people impacted by the tornado. And the announcer asked me a little bit more about that. And when I got off the radio interview and I checked my email, there was an email from a catering company called Weatherworks and said, "We have beef stew and salad. Where do you want it delivered tonight?" Well, we didn't have a location, but I thought of Tanglewood immediately because of the impact of the tornado on the residents in your community. I reached out to your community association, who immediately assisted me in getting the building ready to host the dinner, getting the word out to residents that the dinner was going to be available. I spoke to Frank's Catering and said, "Frank, I have a meal waiting to go, but I have no dessert for people." Frank immediately stepped up and provided some of his famous butter tarts for people in the community. So this memory really makes me realize and appreciate how strong our community is and how together they came in response to the tornado. So I want to thank all of you as we remember the tornado and the impact on our community, for all the good work that you did and for how much you cared for one another in the aftermath of this tornado. Thank you.
Okay, excellent. So that one I showed during George's. In the aftermath of the tornado that affected Tanglewood residents, and during the power outage on September 24th, Leatherworks Catering provided a delicious free hot meal, and Frank's Catering and Baked Goods provided their tarts and cookies at 30 Woodfield. So I guess about 120 residents gathered at the community center. And many thanks to all the volunteers who made this possible. Now there was another act of kindness from Leo Parent, and he sent me this video to tell us about it.
Hello, my name is Leo. Hope everybody's having a good day. So September 21st, 2018 was a day not to forget. It was Tornado Friday, 2 years ago today. 185,000 people had no power. No power in Tanglewood due to the fact that the power station got hit pretty hard. So on the Saturday, still no power. No one had power. On the Sunday, I heard Canada had power, so went for breakfast in Canada. On my way back after breakfast, I heard on the radio, CFRA around 8:30 in the morning, that the Glacier Ice Company on Hawthorne was opening their doors to anyone in need, for organization, for charities, anyone to help, to donate. So I decided to go and pick up some ice for my neighbors and stuff. So I bought for approximately $8 worth of ice. But when I got there, I noticed I had no money. They didn't take any cash cards, debit cards, no credit cards, cash only. So one lady decided to pay my bill, which was only $8 because I didn't take too much ice at the beginning. So I said, okay, thank you, and I appreciated it a lot. So I went home, I gave the ice to the neighbors, I kept one bag. After I kept one bag, I told my wife, I said, this was very nice of that lady. So I said, I think I'm going to go back and get some more ice. So I went to Bank Street. On Bank Street, there was a bank machine open. So I took $200 out, took the $200, and I went back to the ice company and I bought $200 worth of ice. So they loaded up the van. With van fully loaded, they also gave me an ice for sale sign, which was very nice. So on my way home, I stopped at the community center and started giving out the ice, 1 bag free per person, which was great. But some people wanted more. So I thought, well, okay, I'm not going to give ice for 3, 4, 5, 6 bags to everyone, because then the people that need some won't have any. So I said, I'll accept donations for any extra bags. Anybody wants extra bags, they could give a donation for it, which many people were very, very pleased of doing. So we were only a block away from the power station anyways. So the thing is, there was a lot of people right there that didn't know what was happening or when they'd get the power back. We were 7 days without power. So anyways, after I sold everything, I went back, took all the money that I made from the ice and bought more ice, loaded up the van again, came back home at Bentley and Woodfield, stopped the van, and started giving out free ice again and accepting donations. So that's what my day was on the Sunday after the tornado. So all the money raised, $400 worth of ice that I bought, plus $597.30 for the ice that we sold, went over to the Red Cross for the tornado fund. It was a great day after all. My wife and I were able to donate and to help out the neighbors in the community. So I hope you all have a good day. This year we have COVID, so please stay safe and wear a mask.
Thank you, Leo. Okay. Excellent. So before I present my other pictures that I have, because we took a lot of pictures around the neighborhood, does anyone have any stories that they'd like to contribute? I'll just stop presenting my screen. And then, Graham, if you want to unmute yourself. Graham, did you have something to say? You're still muted. I can't unmute you. You have to do it. I can't hear you, Graham. You'll have to unmute yourself.
Here we go.
There we go.
The interesting thing for me was that I was in the Maritimes. And so in an effort to kind of direct some of the things that were going on, it was not easy at all. Certainly I had to rely on George and other members of the community association to kind of take the lead. And the impression I had from a distance was you people really kind of were admirable in terms of both George going around to people's homes and kind of asking if there was any additional help that they needed. I was impressed with the meal that the counselor arranged. So I think this is quite the evening, and I hope people recognize that part of the reason why we're having this evening is because the board at the time said, well, we really need to kind of have a memorial plaque so that we can remember this day for a long time. And Nikki will provide more information about that. Thank you.
Okay, so Is there anyone else that wanted to say something? Wilma?
So I live on the first house in Lansfield Way, across from the park, and had been out that night. We left to go out for dinner during the storm, not understanding the severity of it at all. Kept seeing power outages and phoned, and ended up in Almont and had a very nice dinner. But by the time I arrived in Almont, both of my kids, who one lives in a different part of Ottawa and one lives in West Coast, they'd been phoning me incessantly saying, "Are you all right, Mum?" And so when I came back at 11 o'clock that night to find all the beautiful trees in the park down and no one around and utter silence and my house unscathed. So unlike the north side of the park, it missed my house. I have no idea how, but it missed my house, and the house, like, just so utterly amazing, utterly quiet, so eerie. And I will never forget that night, because a bit like the beginning of the pandemic, everything went quiet. If you remember, about the 16th of March, there was basically, or 20th of March, there was no noise in the city for a few days. But that night there was no noise at all. And by midnight, the sky was dark, but light enough to walk. And I just walked the streets here in utter silence, which I'd never heard before. And so that's one of the beauties of the tornado. But the devastation and the impact on the community is something I'll never forget. It was quite amazing. And that's why I came tonight. When I saw the advertising, I thought, oh, I want to be part of this memory, because it was a huge memory to me, although I was relatively unscathed, just lost all the food and I learned how to make coffee on a camping stove. So that was good. There we are. And thank you so much for organizing this event tonight.
You're welcome. Okay, so just a minute. I gotta get back to that screen. There we go. Okay, so I do have more pictures to show you, because we took a lot of pictures of the damages, and then I'll show you what came after, with the plaque and the trees planted. So I need to cast this. There we go. And we're back on that screen, and we're going to play this. It'll take a while before the trees are this big again. Some of these trees are still standing, but most of them were blown down in the tornado. The Forestry Department from the City of Ottawa planted new trees. This is their plan for the Woodfield side of the Medhurst Park. And here is the plan where they planted more trees on the Medhurst side to replace all the trees that fell during the tornado. These are the damaged trees on the Woodfield side of the Medhurst Park. These are damaged trees on the Medhurst side of the Medhurst Park. As we walked around the neighborhood, we noticed more damage to other houses. Some were damaged more than others. Okay, and then there's still more pictures. We took a lot of pictures. These are more damage around the neighborhood. As George stated, the Esso station got hit hard. We all miss our Tim Hortons that got damaged the most. We saw a lot of damage at the hydro station. There was debris all over the wires that took days to clean up. Okay, I'm just getting one more picture that I want to show you. There. Is that somebody else coming in? Okay. So that's the end of that. And so after all the damage, as I showed you in one of the videos, the plan was to plant more trees. So these are the new trees. This is a plaque that was made. Cast. Okay. So we have one made in memory of our many trees lost in the tornado. And then on this page. This is looking at the plaque across the park with all the new trees that were planted to replace the old ones down the path. And I think there's one more picture. That one. So, and that's all I think I have. Is there anyone else that wanted to say something more? That didn't take as long as I thought it would be. But I hope we're all staying safe and we're all able to walk around and enjoy the new trees. And we all stay together in these virtual events. Hopefully we can get back together in the real outdoors, but we'll see what the future comes. We're all learning new things. Thank you for joining. Good night.
Thank you, Nikki, for putting it together.
I'll post this on the website. I'm going to stop recording.